All right, let's look at the vowel acoustics option. That's the third option for lab assignment 2. The other two deal with measuring individual sounds. This one, instead of looking in depth at one sound, looks at a variety of sounds and does some comparison. But otherwise, they're all the options for lab assignment 2 are around the acoustics realm and are broadly similar in structure. So if you go to eClass, under Lab Assignments, go to Lab Assignment 2, and the third option is Vowel Acoustics. And we have a whole bunch of detail here that I'll be going through in this video. So let's get started. So the general idea here is to connect what we learn about the different acoustic patterns and comparisons between vowels uh, in the course, connect that to something real. In this case, the real vowels that you, a student of phonetics, produce when you're speaking English. Okay. Uh, so what you're going to do, you're going to be recording a list of words. There's a list given here that works for Canadian English. If you speak a different variety of English, you may want to use this list and just be aware and try to adapt the transcriptions to the vowels that are used in that variety. Or you may want to adapt the word list, and you are absolutely free to get in touch with me to discuss any adaptations like that. Uh, the upshot is you're going to end up reading about 12 words, 12 or 13 words to cover these 12 distinct vowel sounds plus an R sound, and you're going to be doing the same kind of analysis regardless. But we can discuss the details if you like. You can record all the words in a single recording. You're going to be submitting that recording along with your report. And then when you do your analysis, you can analyze them in that one recording or divide them up. It's entirely up to you. For each vowel, you're going to identify the frequency for each of the first three formants, F1, F2, and F3. You can see the description under Lab 1 for pointers on how to measure formants there. Once you've got the measurements, you're going to produce a report. The report is going to include a table of your measurements, reporting each formant measurement for each of those vowels, and a discussion of the patterns that you observe. So you can note how those patterns are similar to the patterns we expect from what we discuss in class, and how they differ, and why they might differ. Okay. And yeah, I've had this assignment going for several years. Every person's measurements vary in some way from the expected patterns. So if you have a little bit of deviation, that doesn't mean you've done the measurements wrong. Um, but part of the mark we'll be talking about is about measuring formants as accurately as possible. So as I said, you're submitting the sound file of your recordings and the report, and it's going to be marked according to the rubric laid out on eClass. As with all assignments, 60% of the mark goes to the submission being correct and complete, 20% to it being clear, and 20% to it being showing some insight. And here's how it breaks down. In terms of completeness, you recorded everything you needed to record, and your measurements cover 39 values. There are 13 sounds. Each of them you're going to be measuring three formants, so that's 39 values. And your report covers all of the topics mentioned, all of the elements mentioned in the assignment specifications. Correctness, you've got reasonable values for measuring the formants based on your recording. You're correctly identifying the patterns that are in your measurements. You correctly identify when those patterns deviate from what's expected. And yeah, your discussion is correct. It's on point. It's factually in line with how these sounds work. Right. I don't expect the measurements to be highly exact, but do your best. Okay. You've got enough tools at your fingertips to be able to make a reasonable job of that. In terms of clarity, a clear recording where these measurements can be made. If the recording has a lot of background noise, if you record it in the middle of the food court or something, you're not going to be able to measure the formants very well. That's that's not going to be good enough. That's unclear. Uh, but most of the clarity is down to the report itself. Well formatted, clearly written, organized logically so that I can follow your reasoning, follow your process through. Okay. In terms of insight, I'm really looking for insight in the discussion, uh, identifying plausible reasons why your vowels, to the extent that they deviate from the patterns expected, why they might be deviating, and spend some time thinking about that, thinking about uh, what you know of your particular variety of English comparing to what we know, and anything else that might be involved. Okay. That's sort of that's it, the vowel acoustics assignment. So you can have it's a fair bit of measuring and a certain amount of reasoning, but it'll end up with you'll have some more insight into not just phonetics as this abstract thing, but the phonetics of your actual vowel system. So I hope that's kind of rewarding beyond actually you know getting a mark and all that.